Playing fast is fun, and there is a tradition in jazz of playing fast. We don't do it all the time, but occasionally, from time to time, once or twice a gig, we might take something up-tempo and kind of test our limits. It can be exhilarating for the players and also for the audience members. So I thought I would just share some tips and tricks here about some things you can do to help your fast playing. The first tip I want to talk about is being comfortable in the fast tempo. And the way that we're going to do that is we are going to feel bigger divisions. Because when we feel small divisions, that tends to make us tense. So for example, if I play this track and I'm feeling quarter notes, if I feel every quarter note as the bass pulse, that's going to make me tense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I want to do is I want to look for larger divisions. So instead of counting it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm just going to try to feel bigger cycles. So for example, I could feel a cycle like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice when I have this big pulse, I can still play off the 8th note. I can still play some fast stuff. It's just that my fast playing is fitting inside of a bigger, slower conception. And when you kind of have bigger, slower conceptions or bigger, slower beats that you're building off of, you just feel like you have a little more time to think and make some choices rather than always being in survival mode. So I could even consider this, I could even think of this as a ballad underneath the fast tempo if I want to take that approach. That would be something like this. I can even blow over this kind of idea too. I wouldn't necessarily blow over that kind of feeling the whole chorus, but I might start a chorus or two like that just to get comfortable. I mean, this kind of approach will make a big difference on how comfortable you feel, because if the rhythm section is playing and you're tense before you even play one note, then we're usually not going to have a good chance of playing something that you'll enjoy. So this is really about raising your enjoyment level. As an advanced version of this, you can also have kind of different types of claves go underneath this fast tempo. When I use the word clave, usually that refers to kind of the Afro-Cuban clave, which would be 3-2 or 2-3, but we can also make up other claves. But for example, let me use a 3-2 clave here. That one basically goes, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And we're going to do that now over the fast tempo. So what we're doing is we take the fast tempo, we reduce it to a slower tempo, and then over that we put the clave. Let's see what that sounds like. Now I'm just using that as an example of kind of giving a shape to the slower pulse, so it's not all just wide open slowness. And I can actually blow over that if I want. I can kind of hearken to the clave and then build even fast lines that have that pulse contained within. I'll try that now. The idea. I mean, even though I didn't strictly to stay with the actual clave the whole way, it's just kind of giving my phrasing a structure underneath and something that will help me actually just relax and make my phrasing a little more interesting. This next tip comes courtesy of an old classical teacher I used to study with, and I remember once after playing for her in the lesson, she said to me, somewhat annoyed, "You jazz musicians, why do you always play until you get stopped? Why don't you stop before you get stopped?" And I thought that was kind of insightful, and I want to bring that idea to you here now, especially in playing up tempos. So the idea is we don't want to pass our limits in the process of improvisation, especially if we're on a gig. Because if we continuously play until we kind of hit a wall and then start again, we're really setting up, it's just not a great flow state for ourselves to be in. So what basically the trick here is just play a little shorter. Find your limit and then don't hit that limit. Play a little shorter. So I'll give you two examples here. One example is me playing until I get stopped. And then I'll do a different example where I stop my line before I get stopped. So that's me playing kind of until I, hit a wall. And now I'll show you an example of I just play a little bit shorter so that I live to try again. Basically, this approach boils down to play a little bit shorter. Play shorter phrases. Shorter phrases tend to have more space, and which is always good for the listener. Your rhythm section, as in the drummer and bass player, will appreciate your playing more. People tend to listen more. The time tends to feel better, and you're not constantly running into brick walls. Stop before you get stopped. This next tip will be about looking for unnecessary tension that you might be holding in your body. So a typical example is raising the shoulders and then playing with the shoulders raised, or maybe gritting your teeth, or a lot of times people are tapping their feet. In my opinion, tapping your foot at a fast tempo, it can be a little bit of wasted energy. So we want to kind of scan our body and make sure things are relaxed. One thing you can do is if you scan your body and you find that you're doing something that creates extra tension in your body, you can do a little trick where you play with that thing and you actually exaggerate it. So for example, I'm going to raise my shoulders on purpose. And now I'll drop my shoulders and relax and play. Then I'll raise them again on purpose. etc. So that's the kind of idea. It's just to kind of scan your body and see if you can discover any unnecessary tension in your body. And then as you practice releasing that tension, you should find that you gain a little bit of ease. This technical tip is about efficiency. So basically we want to strive to be efficient in our technical approach. And that can mean a lot of different things, but I'll give you a few examples. If you're a piano player and you're playing a scale and you're coming up high off the keys for each note, that's not as efficient as playing close to the keys for each note. Now I'm getting the same sound and volume that I did before, but with about a quarter of the effort. So you're gonna, again, it's about scanning your own techniques. Sometimes you can take a video of yourself and see what's going on and strive to find improvements in efficiency. Another example is a drummer. When a drummer plays a ride cymbal, he has a backswing. When the backswing is too large, it becomes hard to play fast because it's inefficient. As the drummer plays faster, he would want his backswing to become a little shorter. And this same kind of idea applies across all kinds of instruments. Another thing on the piano I might do is, for efficiency's sake, is not dig into the key so much. I might play a little more shallow, and that'll give me more kind of ease and speed. And really it's going to vary for everyone. You don't need to strive for perfect efficiency, and you also don't need to strive towards some idealized version of playing your instrument. But what you can do is just look for the biggest inefficiency that you might be committing, and if you deal with that, if you improve that, you should see the whole level go up. It's kind of a big bang for your buck situation, where if you can find something that you're doing that's inefficient and then you can bring that down, then you'll see some results pretty fast. The last musical tip I'll give you for playing fast is just a reminder to not let go of certain musical expressive ideas. So for example, you want to have dynamic shaping, you want to have different articulations, you want to have good phrasing, and hopefully working on some of these things will allow you to be more comfortable so that you can remember to include those, because in the end, just playing fast is not good enough. We want to play fast and also well. So it's worth practicing just saying, like, I'll play fast and I'll think about some dynamics. I'll play fast and I'll think about different articulations. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and thanks for checking out the video. See you next time.